to perspective. Our next assignment, we're going to be doing a perspective-based drawing, like a cityscape or some sort of space, some sort of three-dimensional space. So perspective, super interesting, I think. This is a great example of one-point perspective. So we can see these like simple lines, the way they go back, and everything kind of meets a point. Very similar to what we did with the op art piece, right? And that's why that kind of was an optical illusion, because all of these lines went back to a single point. So before all of this, there's like a world of flat. A lot of intelligent people in different time periods couldn't figure out how to make things three-dimensional, right? So we could see like as far back as cave people, but even going into like Egypt, where we're doing amazing things. We're building pyramids. We have medicine. We have literature. We have all sorts of amazing things. Still, we can't figure out how to make things look three-dimensional on a two-dimensional surface. The Greeks, the Romans, all this for like thousands of years up until 1436. So in 1436, this is time of the Renaissance. Guy Filippo Brunelleschi figures out this idea of how things get smaller as they go back into space. And his first image was this image of a cathedral going back into space, where he did this like grand unveiling that kind of blew people's minds. And what he's doing is just using the idea of a vanishing point and a horizon line, things going back into space. So our horizon line is our eye level. So if I'm sitting down, it's going to be lower. If I'm standing up, it's going to be higher. You could see this in areas like on the beach, like a horizon line, right? So horizon line. Vanishing point is everything, and it's going to be exactly where I'm sitting. Everything recedes to that point. So here we see another example of where the world of flat becomes three-dimensional, right? We see this idea of perspective in place. So just going over these boxes, right? If I have a box that's above me, I'm going to see below it. If I have a box below me, I'm going to see the top of it, right? But the front edge of the box is closer to us, so it's bigger. The back edge is smaller, so we can kind of see from these corners where everything is constantly going back to the same point, right? Same idea with two-point perspective, and this we'll get into later, but it's something that's interesting to look at now, is basically we're looking at the corner of something instead of looking at it straight on, like a straight-on box, or I'm looking at it from the corner. So the edges of the box are getting smaller as they go back into space. Another way to think of that is if I'm looking down a street, or if I'm looking down two streets, or looking at the corner of a block. If I'm kind of at the corner and I'm able to see two blocks, I have two-point perspective versus 1 point. Still, the horizon line is always our eye level. With 2 point, the vanishing points become a little bit more ambiguous than when we're talking about 1 point perspective, where it's always just like I could put a dot in the middle of my forehead, and that is where the vanishing point would connect to far off in space. So here's some student examples, and this is what we're going to be working towards. There's going to be other steps building up to this. I don't expect you to understand perspective just based on that brief explanation. We can see this 2 point perspective done by a student. We have a 1 point perspective of a hallway. We have a 1 point perspective where they kind of decided to incorporate some of the self-portrait and text ideas. The J train, 2 point perspective looking out at, I believe this is Church and Nostrand. It's not a McDonald's anymore. These invented spaces. So the basic idea is like we could either find a space that is important to us, or that's interesting to us, or that actually exists, or we can invent a space like this invented cityscape. It could be of this world or of another world, right? We have this like kind of weird 2 point perspective. Outer space, octopus, very cool. This one, the octopus reappears. 1 point perspective, they've done some weird things here. They kind of break the rules of perspective, but I like it. Very cool. So what you are going to do is you're going to kind of start this process by visiting a background check like we've done in previous assignments. Let's see if we have the background check right here. We have the prospective background check. So kind of filling out, where do you live? How do you commute? Where are you from? Where is your family from? Where are some places that you can remember going to as a child? So kind of taking inventory like of the spaces that are important or exist in your life, and then maybe some places that you might want to go to or that you would like to imagine, right? So again, just kind of thinking like, what is our subject matter going to be? And then we'll worry about in class, we'll worry about like, how do we create something? How do we create an illusion in 1-point or 2-point perspective? So looking forward to seeing your background check handouts, and looking forward to starting this prospective project with you.